Just a month ago, right on Valentine's Day, Caroline Polachek released Desire, I Want to Turn Into You, which right now is considered to be the best album of 2023 according to Metacritic, and in my case it has become my personal favorite album of 2023, by the side of Price by Rosie Plain. Desire, I Want to Turn Into You is the second full-length album by the artist known as Caroline Polachek. Right after her massive success with her debut album Bang, we were all very excited with whatever he was gonna come out next, and I'm happy to say it definitely lived up to our very high expectations. But anyways, without any further explanation, let's jump into my track-by-track review of Desire, I Want to Turn Into You. Welcome to My Island is the first track of this album, as well as one of the singles before this album actually came out. It's ultimately one of the best opening tracks of this year. Its enthusiasm and explosiveness feels like an absolute celebration to the early 2000s pop with some dance influences, bringing back some memories to this kind of pop music we kind of forget about in this decade, while still maintaining a different feel from these derivative art pop influences. And that will be a theme that will carry to the second song of this album, Pretty Impossible, which lands on a style digitally similar to something like Notes in a Conditional Form by 1975, at least rhythmically. It's definitely focused on its melody, which is all-encompassing from the beginning to end of the song. It somehow feels more like an appreciative break from other songs in the album, but also has this playful feel, despite its structure being very one-dimensional, you could say. Bunny's Rider is also one of the singles, and it totally makes sense why. It's still one of my favorite tracks of the album, and probably from 2021 when it was first released, and it really hasn't gotten any older. It's very reminiscent to some Latin pop influences, and it's very visual. You can totally see yourself transported into a beach or something. Truly so imaginative and expressive, and overall just a song to have fun. The next track, Sunset, takes that concept way further, maintaining that style from the last song, but in this case it feels more like a teleportation to Spain, really reminding me to their classic flamenco. Maybe even more to the twist that Zetangana gave to the genre back in 2021 with El Madrileño, one of my favorite albums at the time. And again, this song is just one of the singles. We all knew before this album came out it was going to be a whole mixture of styles and aesthetics, and this record definitely lived up to the expectations. Now we jump to a completely different feel with the next track called Crude Drawing of an Angel. It feels like the underground garage version of Bunny's Rider, keeping that iconic whistle but turning it into a far deeper set. It's way more theatrical than the previous songs, even if it doesn't have this climax. It rather maintains itself in this state of arousal. I love the darkness and drama behind the song and how the low track feels. A song that will not give us any preparation from the song that's coming next, which is like the most Disney-like version of any pop song in this track, and its title, I Believe. It's completely different from what we've been hearing previously. It's overly bombastic and positive, landing on a sense of stubbornness and happiness, covering all the naivety behind it. It's a track that couldn't get any more exciting and over the top, and I really love it for that. Now we jump to Fly to You, which is one of my favorite tracks of the album. It's just impossible to not love it. Caroline Polachek, Grimes, and Ditto make such a great collaboration. Its combination of styles clash into a perfect balance of all of them, and it's weirdly a mixture between flamenco and art pop in a way I haven't quite imagined before, and ultimately just a whole vibe all the way through. The next track is called Blood and Batter, and Caroline just keeps throwing banger after banger. I would kill to listen to this album for the first time again, because it was such a consistent journey of joy and playfulness. It's just so interesting how she can just turn the most formulaic rhythms in pop music into something completely different and refreshing. Up until to this point, every song has been massively explorative, to the point where it's just hard to rank them, and this song is definitely the epitome of that. Hopedrunk, Everasking lands into more of a magical headspace with its long vocals and melodics, accompanied with this calculated and relaxing piano and instrumentals. A song just coming at the right time to change the direction of the record just 4 songs before it finishes, and it's just vibrant and electric despite its calmness. Butterfly Net follows that theme, and Caroline Polachek decides to maintain that low-key feel through the last few songs of the record. I guess after all that exciting and playfulness, now it's time for the fans of sad music with her adventures and explorative style that she brings to the table. Caroline is able to make the most relaxing tracks in the album, still into theatrics encompassed all around the album. It's just one of those songs where you just want to stop whatever you're doing and just lay down and stare at the ceiling until the song ends. We only have 2 songs left before this album fully finishes, and we jump to a song called The Smoke, and things start to come alive a little bit again. Bringing back the exact same rhythm from her second song, Pretty Impossible, it becomes the perfect mix between her calm theatrics and her explorative and exciting songs, and probably the song that summarizes this record perfectly. Now we jump right into the last song of the album, called Billions, which is also one of the singles we were able to hear back in 2022. It's a great closure for this album because basically we could say this is a song about recognizing that the love she once had and how she has never felt so close to someone. But despite how broken she feels in this crisis, she's still asking to get some closure. Desire I Want to Turn Into You is definitely one of the best albums of this year, and the best one according to most people apparently. It's a complete exploration of genres, styles, and aesthetics. It's never boring and always electric, and for that reason I'll give this 4 stars out of 5, which at this point becomes my highest rated album of 2023 so far. So that's great. And that's about it. If you like this video, you can subscribe to my channel, maybe leave a like, leave a comment, and I hope we can keep in touch. Goodbye.
Ready for the mosh pit, Shaka Bra.